kids everywhere dying for old comics. This is like a new thing. So we ran and said, since a quarter 50 cents. Well, no one's writing checks back then. You drop 2 quarters in one envelope, and you, with your crayons, you write down Pacific Comics, post office box, whatever, and you send your quarters in. Well, we were getting bags of mail every week of quarters. And we're like, we didn't have a bank account. It was quarters. We had thousands and thousands of quarters with no place to do with anything. So we had to go to we went to the bank account with my parents, and they wouldn't open an account for me. I went for our first account, said, oh, the bank account said, sorry, you have to be 18. I said, well, no, I got $4 in quarters. I need an account. I said, you can't open one. So my parents had a cosign, and my mom refused. Not because of me, because she thought I was insulting the bank not to take my money. And she was always, I think, overly protective of the other 3 children. Really didn't have dyslexia. We do. And so they kind of, not favored us, but kind of favored us a little bit. And that we need a little extra help to gather through life. Because we had challenges that our other kids didn't have. So when we went to the bank and we went to Bank 1, they said, parents have to sign. My mom said, absolutely not. He's a depositor, you take him or not. And we left. And then we went to a bank called Crocker Bank. It used to be a big bank here in San Diego. And they took my quarters. And there was no parent signature on the account. I deposited $4 of the quarters. It was just, 1,600 quarters, a lot of quarters. A lot of envelopes in the mail. It's pretty exciting.
Orders came in, we filled what we could, and then we found out you had to have more than 1 copy of it.
It was a big error on our part.
Some things we had 2 or 3, other things we had 1, and we had like Conan number 1 for $4. And at that point, that was the price point. You made up prices that you thought things would sell at, and then you figure out, oh, they worth more or less when it's upon response.
Early on, there was not a lot of, let's say, scientific discovery on our side. It was absolutely the hit and miss scenario. And so, for those of you that know this stuff on the West Coast, Conan number 2 never made it to newsstand. It only was true on the East Coast. And we had 2 copies of that, so we were deep. We had copious inventory. We had 2 copies. So we had that for $3 in the catalog, and we had 900 orders come in for Conan number 2, all from the West Coast. Because people wanted Conan, couldn't get one. And there wasn't really mail order people, so every consumer, it felt like to us, was buying Conan number 2. So I figured, well, gee, if they all wanted them, see a bunch of copies out there. So I called a bunch of people, and you couldn't find that damn book anywhere. I figured I'd buy some more of them. Well, no one had the book because it was short shipped. So, we then had to learn things like how to write refund checks. Because that was not something in our vernacular that we understood. If money would come in, it would go back out again. So it was challenging.
We would fill the orders, and Mom would take them to the post office because she could drive.
We have simple challenges in the world. We had bicycles, she had a car. So these are simple ideas,
Then we discovered Harris Newsstand in North Park. That was the place that had comic books in depth. He realized he could sell comics, and he had small stacks. And we would end up buying all of his inventory. He'd get them in on a certain day. We'd be there when they got unloaded.
We knew when the truck would arrive.
And we would buy them all because we had mail. So we'd buy them at retail. We didn't know you could buy things at wholesale.
But we were buying the cover price in bulk.
Just buying the cover price.
He had a great day. He did nothing. We bought everything he bought. And then we bought them at retail. We were happy just to have comics.
We didn't know anything about the whole structure of the business. We just knew we're selling comic books.
That was at 30th and University.
It absolutely was in North Park. Absolutely.
And, full of men's magazines and cigars and stacks of comic books. That was his business, and newspapers from around the world.
When was that?
72?
Yeah.
Something like that, yeah.
Pretty early.
And then we started talking to him, we were buying him out, and we were buying every 7-Eleven out. We started going 7-Elevens just to get there.
I had realized that I needed more money to help buy more comics, so I decided I was going to start sweeping parking lots as a side job. So I got my jury my banana bicycle, big banana seats.
Stingray.
Stingray, right? And I did some bungee cords on the side where I put a broom, a dustpan, and a surfboard on the other side. So I'd sweep parking lots in the morning and go surfing in the afternoon on my bike route. And so I get $5 from each 7-Eleven. I did about 10 7-Elevens, all through Pacific Beach and La Jolla, riding my bicycle everywhere. $5 a pop, once on every Saturday, and that'd be my Saturdays. And that'd be like $80, $100, and I could buy a bunch more comics at the retail store.
And comics are 15 or 20 cents.
So you could buy a lot of comics for $80, right, in bulk.
And so then we started talking to the stores, and where do you get these comic books from? And how is it that they come to your store? There was a place called San Diego Periodicals, which was a local wholesaler. And we made an account with them. And along the way, we started buying almost probably 80% of all the comics came to San
It was
Diego.
really, these were not nice people, by the way. These were pretty ruthless.
They
What
were
you
a
would call
wholly owned subdivision of Moscow Incorporated.
It was pretty much a lot of Italians that say in the background. We have an Italian background as well, but these are more the ones you might think of as historical movie type of backgrounds. And these were just not pleasant people to work with or interact with. But I think they initially took pity on us because we had 2 little kids and they didn't know how could we cause them trouble. And when Steve just says, we'd go in there and we started buying 10 of each book, 20 of each book, and they said, well, how many do you have? I said, we get 300 each issue. I said, we'll just buy all 300. Don't put them on 7s and we'll just take the entire run.
We cornered San Diego.
Right.
And also, we found out San Diego periodicals sold things returnable at a 20% discount. So if let's say theoretically something had a $1 cover price, you would pay 80 cents for it and make 20 cents profit. But if it didn't sell, you could kick it back and get the next issue. We didn't kick things back, but they wouldn't give us a bigger discount.
It pissed us off.
We were buying a lot. We were buying everything. Okay, so, and we started it, and we decided our bedrooms were full.
So our house in San Diego started as a fairly small house, and my parents kept expanding onto it. They turned our garage. Our sister had won a Mustang convertible in a Catholic charity. Put $1 in, 1,000 people put dollars in, and she actually won. And she couldn't really need the car, so she gave the car to my parents, who converted our garage into 2 bedrooms, which is where we lived, in the garage. But there wasn't a garage anymore; it was 2 bedrooms. And then we built literally floor to ceiling on every wall bookshelves, and they were full.
They were 2 feet wide, 8 feet tall, 8 feet wide. Size of plywood sheets. You just cut them in half and you make a big ass.
It was faster to build them that way than trying to actually make real bookshelves.
Now these weren't exactly structurally sound, but they held a lot of comics, and you were in the bed right next to them. You sort of looked up.
Oh my gosh.
It's a dream, man. It's a dream. Every night you look like they're all mine. Life is pretty
His room
good.
was full of marbles, and my room was full of DC comics.
And back then, quite honestly, there was Golden Age and Silver Age, and it was Archie and Harvey's, and Marvel. That was it. There was a couple undergrounds coming out every month, a couple undergrounds, and then late 60s, early 70s, were underground comics from like Friedrich and a few others, which were kind of a new wave type of thing. And that's
Star Reach.
Right, Star Reach Productions. And so what happened is we had those 2 bedrooms, and then we realized those bedrooms got full, and we took over my other parents' bedroom, another bedroom, and then the dining room kind of became a sorting area. My dad was in politics, so we had important people coming over, so when they came over, we had to like clean up 8 rooms for the political people to come in and say hi. And then as soon as they had to put everything back outside again, it was a pain in the ass. So eventually our parents said to us, like, this is getting kind of ridiculous. You guys gotta go. You guys gotta get your stuff out of the house because we have no house left. It's a comic building that people are living in, coexisting. And so we found a very small store about 2 miles from our house, right near the ocean at Pacific Beach,
On Cass.
on 5011 Cass Street. And it was $200 rent for the first time we bought it, between a dog grooming place and a bar. And so we heard through the walls continually little yelps of poodles getting butchered.
With a shared bathroom with the grooming company.
Yes, this is low tech for sure. And then we had the bar next to us, of course, which we had drunks. These were our heavy clientele at the time. So our parents were happy to move out of the house with the 8 rooms of material left with us. So we were very happy about that.
And how we bought old comics, besides in our catalog we shipped out, we had all the front of the catalog was our prices for selling, and the back was our prices for buying. And again, we did not anticipate the response of people sending us inventory, okay, because now they knew there was a value to their comics, and they would send us massive amount of inventory, which we had to figure out cash flow, which we had no idea.
We didn't have any cash. We had no flow. We
just
had a lot of comics.
All this was news to us, but it did enable us to get massive amounts of repeat issues, so we could build up our catalog. So,
What was really interesting in the early days of when we got involved in comics is the so-called industry was very, very innocent. There wasn't really corporations. There was no Disney owning this company and Warner owning that company. These were all, even the big guys were relatively small. And then we were fleas on their backs. And so it was just anything you want to try, there was no rules, there was no pattern to follow. You just kind of went on your own and did something, and then it failed, you did something different. And so we didn't have a master plan. There was no business plan written out. Every day we woke up and said, let's try something different. Let's try something new. And we stumbled as well as many times we did well. We didn't really know. We just tried a lot of stuff. Figured something would stick. And because everything was so inexpensive, comics back then had a cover price of 12, 15 cents. You bought too many of them, you blew a couple $100. It wasn't like they were going to kill you.